Ukraine's intelligence special unit, Primary, has carried out very significant strikes on Russian military infrastructure in Crimea. In a carefully planned operation, the unit targeted and destroyed a series of critical Russian air defense assets that form the backbone of the peninsula's protection. Among the confirmed losses are the Utyos-T radar, the RT-70 radio telescope adapted for military use, a Glonass navigation dome, the MR-10 M1 MI's coastal radar, and the 96L6AP radar component of the advanced S-400 air defense system. Each of these systems played a vital role in Russia's ability to monitor Ukrainian activity and shield its forces from incoming strikes. Their destruction not only weakens Russia's situational awareness, but also opens the way for future Ukrainian operations, including deeper precision strikes on occupied Crimea. This systematic campaign demonstrates Kyiv's determination to degrade Russian air defenses, ensuring that no position on the peninsula can be considered secure. The Ukrainian Air Force continues its relentless campaign of precision strikes against Russian forces. In the latest operation, a Ukrainian MiG-29 carried out an attack in the northern sector, deploying French-supplied AASM Hammer-guided bombs. The strike hit a Russian troop concentration, inflicting heavy losses and disrupting enemy positions. These daily air operations highlight Kyiv's growing ability to combine Western technology with combat experience, allowing its pilots to deliver powerful blows deep behind the front line. Relentless pressure from the air is steadily wearing down Russian manpower and forcing Moscow to divert resources to defend against attacks that keep coming day after day. Ukraine is making it clear that the Kherson region has not been forgotten, as its forces continue to deliver constant strikes on Russian positions. The latest attack targeted enemy troops near the village of Kardashinka in occupied territory, part of a wider effort to keep Russian forces under pressure on the left bank of the Dnipro. These operations serve not only to inflict losses, but also to unsettle Russian defenses and stretch their resources across multiple fronts. Kherson remains one of the most strategically important regions in the war. A successful Ukrainian advance here would threaten to cut Russia's main logistical route to Crimea, severing supply lines and isolating occupation forces on the peninsula. For this reason, every strike in the area carries significance beyond immediate battlefield effects. It is part of shaping the ground for a potential large-scale counteroffensive. While heavy fighting continues elsewhere, Ukraine's persistence in Kherson signals a long-term plan to weaken Russia's grip on southern Ukraine and ultimately challenge its control over the vital land corridor to Crimea. A former speaker of the Ukrainian parliament has been shot dead in Lviv. Authorities said the gunman fired several shots at Andriy Parubiy, killing him on the spot in the western city. A manhunt has been launched for the attacker, who fled the scene, but police have released no information on the killer's identity or motives. Mr. Parubiy, a pro-Western politician, was one of the leaders of the protests in 2014, which called for closer ties with the EU and brought down the pro-Russian former president Viktor Yanukovych. He was also Secretary of Ukraine's National Security and Defense Council from February to August 2014, a period when fighting began in eastern Ukraine and Russia annexed the Crimea Peninsula. Officials gave no immediate indication whether the murder had any direct link to Russia's war in Ukraine. Ukraine's public broadcaster Suspiln cited sources who said the attacker was dressed as a delivery rider and used an electric bicycle. Pictures of the scene and a video purporting to show the shooting have been published by local media. Volodymyr Zelensky offered his condolences after what he called a horrendous murder. All necessary forces and means are engaged in the investigation and search for the killer, he said in a post on X. The German company Quantum Systems has launched secret plants in Ukraine to produce vector reconnaissance drones. Around 80 drones are manufactured each month, equipped with artificial intelligence and sensors designed to detect artillery, according to Politico. The German drone manufacturer Quantum Systems has set up a network of covert factories in Ukraine where the vector reconnaissance drones are being produced. At a drone testing event held this week in western Ukraine, Alexander Berezhny, managing director of Quantum Systems Ukraine, said that their company is a model example of how this should be done. We are certainly a role model on how to do it, and we are all models for both sides, because while everyone starts speaking about joint ventures, the possibility to produce here and there, we have been doing it for years, he emphasized. Over the 3 years of full-scale war, the company has opened a number of workshops in different regions of Ukraine while simultaneously developing production in Germany, the US, and Australia. Currently, about 80 drones are produced per month in Ukraine, compared with roughly 120 in Germany. The Vector is one of the first drones Ukraine received in 2022. The new version is equipped with artificial intelligence and a WASP acoustic sensor, which allows it to detect enemy artillery by sound from long distances. The drones are already undergoing testing in collaboration with the Ukrainian Missile and Artillery Command. Company representatives say that the war in Ukraine has become the main proving ground for the development of drone technology. The whole development in the drone industry is coming right from the Donbass, not from Silicon Valley, said Quantum's business development director, Matthias Lehne. At the same time, production in Ukraine carries risks as Russian missiles regularly attempt to strike defense enterprises. That is why Quantum disperses its facilities across the country and works closely with European factories. It is worth noting that, as we reported in 2023, Ukrainian intelligence received over 100 Vector drones under a contract between the Ministry of Defense and the UAV manufacturer Quantum Systems GmbH. This year, Germany also supplied Ukraine with these drones. At the beginning of the year, Ukraine received an aid package containing 50 Vector units along with spare parts. Peskov again accused Ukraine and the EU of undermining peace efforts by Russia and the US to resolve the war, following another wave of Russian airstrikes on Ukrainian civilian areas. Notice how all Russian politicians, including Putin, speak very quietly and in a low tone. This is part of their PR strategy, meant to project calmness, greatness, and the illusion that they are in control of the situation. But they will never admit that this is not the case. The so-called special military operation is not going according to plan, and a more suitable name would be the Special Military Fuck-Up.
Yes, well, the European War Party maintains its main trend. They do not relent. This sharply contrasts with the approach, for example, taken by our President Putin, and also by US President Trump, whose efforts to steer the process towards peace are hard to overestimate, and we are grateful for these efforts. The Europeans are hindering these efforts. Europeans are throwing a wrench in the works. Europeans are in every way indulging and probably encouraging the Kyiv regime to continue an utterly absurd line, to be uncooperative. This is a big mistake. This is a big mistake. This will not do any good for the Kyiv regime. On the contrary, it will make the situation even worse for the Kyiv regime. Meanwhile, Russia maintains its stance. We are ready to resolve the issue through political and diplomatic means, but as long as we do not see reciprocity from Kyiv, we continue the special military operation.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comments section. The membership link is in the description.
Rescues every day. We had a guy last week at 6 rescues in 6 days. You know, he's doing the job every day.